welcome back to the All Things Good channel and to this week's video. How are you? Hope you're all doing very, very well and have had a very good week. It is Sunday morning. If you're watching this on Sunday morning, happy Sunday morning to you. Happy whatever day it is to you. Having a cup of coffee. Hope you're having something nice and warm as well, or cold. It's still a bit stiflingly hot, isn't it? Yes, so let me just have a slurp. Okay, so this is not quite the vlog I had in mind for you this week, to be honest. I came back from my holiday all guns blazing and thinking, do you know what? I'm gonna get going. I'm refreshed, I'm relaxed. I'm going to start decluttering the house. If you don't know, got a house move coming up soon. I thought, right, let's get cracking. I'm going to sort everything and it's all going to be beautiful. Look at me, I'm surrounded by clutter, washing up, everything. It's just not happening. And that's because, unfortunately, this week I have been really quite poorly. Wasn't expecting that. Knocked me for 6. I'm doing much better now, fortunately. But it really has thrown me completely. Having said that, I have managed to make a little bit of a start. Because what I don't want to do is when I do get a date for moving house, I don't want to be doing the decluttering at the same time as packing. Does that make sense? So what I'd like to do is to methodically go through every room of the house and sort out all the stuff we no longer need that I can perhaps donate, or if it's no good or it's broken, it can obviously be thrown out, so that when I do come to pack, I am just packing the stuff we need to move house with, rather than sorting out and packing all at the same time. So I'm just trying to make life a bit easier for me, really. So I didn't get done as much this week as I hoped, unfortunately, but I have done a bit. I've started here in the kitchen a little bit, and I've also sorted out my son's room, because if you are following this channel, you will know that my son Adam is actually living in Australia at the moment. So we have that free room, and I thought, well, it made sense to start there, do a bit of decluttering in there, and then if I need to store things in there, or we do start packing, some of the boxes can go in there, because it's an unused room, so it's not going to affect the other areas of the house that we're going to have to live in until we move. Rambling, I know, but you know what? It's just been one of those weeks. So rather than me go on about it any longer, let's just get into it. But I hope you do enjoy this week's video. It's Tuesday, which means it's a day off from the office for me, from work, but yours truly has come down with tonsillitis. So I'm not feeling the best today. However, I'm feeling a bit better than I did yesterday. So I had a very, very croaky voice yesterday and a sore throat. And I just felt like maybe I was getting a cold. Maybe I'd caught something on the plane on the way home from holiday or something like that. And as the day went on, I was incredibly hot. But I just put that down to the weather having been so hot. I was very, very hot in my office. And I just felt a bit rough and had a sore throat. And then I'd got to go to the pharmacy on my way home from work anyway to pick up Nancy's medication. And when I went in, I just said, oh, is there something I can have for this sore throat? I don't know whether I'm coming down with a cold or something. And the pharmacist said, well, I'm a qualified doctor. Do you want to come into the consulting room and I'll take a look at you? And when he looked down my throat's covered in those horrible white spots. And he took my temperature. He said, oh yes, you've got a nasty temperature. I said, have I? I thought it was just the heat outside. And so yeah, I've got tonsillitis, bacterial tonsillitis as well, which is wholly unpleasant, otherwise known as strep throat. So I've been given penicillin, and there's 40 of these things for me to take. So I have to take 2 4 times a day. So I started on these at about 6 o'clock last night, and it is now 2:10 on Tuesday, and I think there's a little bit of improvement. I don't feel quite as hot, albeit the weather's cooled down as well. I don't feel quite as hot. My throat's a little bit not great, but I feel very sleepy and tired and a bit worn out. But what I have decided to do today is, rather than dash about, I need to make a start with a few bits and pieces as part of my decluttering process before I start my packing process to move house. So I'm going to be very methodical about it, because I don't have a date for moving house yet. And I thought I'm just going to go room by room and sort things out. And I've hired a skip to come to the house on Saturday, because at the weekend we are going to do a huge declutter and a throw out of the garage. So I thought I'd do some decluttering of the kitchen first, and then those things can go on the skip, or if there's anything I can donate to the charity shop, or anything that Grace might want to sell on Vinted, because she's got a Vinted account and she does lots of selling on there, which I highly recommend. And so I'm sorting through some things now, and I'm going to do the kitchen today, and I'll probably do another room on Thursday on my next day off, and then the garage at the weekend. So I'm just going to concentrate on one room at a time. I'm not going to be all over the house and all that kind of stuff, and I don't have the energy for it either. So I'm just going to get myself a little drink, take a bit of paracetamol as well, and do a little bit today, not overdo it, but little and often. I think that would be the key. That'll be the key to the decluttering process. So let's make a start. So today I'm not actually going to clean any cupboards out. I'm just going to do a declutter. I'm actually going to clean everything down thoroughly when I actually pack to move, so it's nice and fresh for the new purchases. Wow. Now this is just not like me at all, is it? I've been absolutely stopped in my tracks with this bit of an illness I've got. It's Wednesday and I should be at work and I'm not. And I can't be. And primarily because I have such a raging temperature and I'm either boiling hot or freezing cold. So I'm on 4-hourly paracetamol and taking my penicillin, obviously, that was prescribed to me yesterday. But this absolutely flattened me today. I can't do anything. I have no energy. It's mid-afternoon now. I've just had an hour and a half sleep on the sofa. But I'm either freezing cold or boiling hot. When I do sleep, I'm drifting in and out of really weird dreams. So I'm definitely fighting a fever. And it's absolutely zapped me of everything I've got. So this is not what I was expecting after my lovely relaxing week on holiday, but there we go, what can we do? So I've just had to strip off. I've gone through my cold spell, I'm going through my hot spell now, which is wholly unpleasant, but I'm just absolutely wiped out and I can't do anything other than sit and sleep and take my tablets when's necessary. I'm drinking lots of fluids, so that's good. And I've just got to ride this thing out. But I was having a look online, you know, as you do, Dr. Google, at the symptoms, because the doctor told me I have strep throat tonsillitis. And I thought tonsillitis and strep throat were two different things, but there's viral tonsillitis and there's bacterial tonsillitis. I have the bacterial tonsillitis, which apparently is also known as strep throat. And actually the symptoms in adults are not very nice, and I do have a tick box of the symptoms, including nausea. So that's not very nice at all. I haven't vomited, but I'm very hot, very cold, temperature, headache, nausea, lethargy, and obviously my throat actually is not too bad. I'm a little bit croaky still in my voice. My throat doesn't feel too sore. It just feels a bit lumpy and a bit weird. But it's the fever more than anything. And if I'd been able to control my temperature, I would have gone to work today, because my actual sore throat is not too bad. But I can't shake this fever at the moment. So I'm good for nothing today. Absolutely good for nothing. So yesterday I did a little bit of decluttering in the kitchen, which you've seen, but today I've done absolutely nothing. So I'm hoping and keeping everything crossed that I'm a bit brighter tomorrow and we can get cracking on something else. And also, it's not good for Nancy, really. This is actually highly contagious. So I'm doing everything I can to protect everybody in the house, but particularly Nancy. But she is on the lower level, and I am on the second level here in the lounge at the moment. And I just pop in and see her every now and then, and everybody else is sort of on tap as well. But it's a bit boring for her because she's in her room, and she, on my days off, she likes to go out and about. You know what it's like. But when the carer falls ill, it's a bit of a pickle. So this isn't ideal, but there's nothing we can do about it. It is what it is, and I just don't know where I've picked this up from. You know, is it just that contagious that you get it in confined spaces? Because what I would say is, on our journey home from holiday, which was a week ago now, when we first boarded the plane to come home, we actually had a delay on the plane before we even took off. So we were grounded. The doors were closed of the aircraft, and we were about to taxi off when we suddenly, the captain said, "Oh, we'll be leaving in 3 or 4 minutes." And then suddenly 3 or 4 minutes, 10 minutes passed and nothing happened. But the plane was full. It was 40 degrees outside, and they can't put the air conditioning on in the aircraft until the engines start up. So it was absolutely roasting hot in that aircraft. And you know what it's like, you're crammed in, aren't you, like sardines in a tin? And I just wonder whether I've picked it up in that environment. And there was some issue with French air traffic control playing up, so we had to wait for a new slot, and it was about an hour on the plane before we actually took off. So I don't know what the incubation period is for tonsillitis or strep throat or anything like that, but that's the only thing I can think of, that we were a confined space, lots of people, very hot and bothered, lots of children and babies, and lots of people struggling as well with that. And then, of course, once you do take off, the air conditioning is bloody freezing. So it could be that I got this on the plane last week, and it's just brewed for a few days before it's come out. But other than that, I've got no idea how I've caught this. But it's not pleasant, and I'm just hoping that nobody else in the house gets it. Anyway, all I can do is sit and relax. So I'm just going to find something on the telly to watch, a film, I think. And I'll probably doze in and out of that, but roll on tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is another day. Rub this one out and start again tomorrow, hopefully. It's the next day, and hopefully you can see that I am looking a little bit brighter today. Thank goodness. I felt, now don't get me wrong, I don't feel 100% today at all, but it was already a day off work today. It's a day that I don't go into the office anyway, so I'm glad for the extra day off, because I'm still a bit tired and I am sleeping so much. Yesterday I had 3 different sleeps on the sofa, all of which lasted over an hour, and then I've had about 12 hours sleep overnight. So
I've woke up a little bit more refreshed this morning. I still don't feel, as I say, 100%, but I am definitely a little bit brighter. I don't want to overdo it today, but I still have so much to do, and whilst we're not in any great rush, I do need to keep on top of the process of sorting out and decluttering, so that when the time does come and we get a date for moving and I've got that sort of space before we move to actually pack, I know that I'm just packing what we're definitely taking. I don't want to be sorting out last minute, and I don't want to be sorting out things as I'm packing them, if that makes sense. So whilst I've got some energy this morning, I am going to do a little bit this morning. I am in my son's room. Now, Adam, as you know, is out in Australia at the moment, having a ball. And it's not likely that he will be home before the move. So I thought I'd start on this room next, because this room is not being used. So if I do sort stuff out and I have to pile it up on the bed, or I need to box it up, I can box it in this room, keep it in this room, and it's not affecting the rest of the house that we're all still living in. We don't want to be running around and tripping over boxes just yet. So I thought it made sense to do this room first. Now, Adam has a piece of furniture in here that is a bookcase, and it's very, very old. The bookcase itself actually belonged to my dad, and we wanted to keep it initially when my dad passed away because it was dad's, really. But I've got another bookcase of my dad's that's currently in storage that, if you follow me for some time, you'll know about 2 or 3 years ago I actually upcycled it and I painted it, and it looks absolutely great. And we've decided that's the bookcase that we will keep. We only need one. We've got too many books between us anyway. I've had a lady contact me today who said that she would like the donation of books for a charity, and I thought, brilliant. What I'll do is I'll sort out Adam's bookcase today. The bookcase itself can go. It's not worth anything. It's falling apart, and we only kept it because it was my dad's. As I say, we've got the other one that I've upcycled, which should be a nice keepsake of my dad's anyway. So the bookcase can go, and any books that I sort out that I know are duplicates or that Adam won't need any longer can go to this lady for her charity. So let's get cracking. I love the things you find when you're decluttering and tidy up, and I actually came across this postcard with an autograph on of David Tennant, also known as one of the Doctor Who's. Oh, it was lovely. He gave me that when I actually approached him for some auction prizes when I was doing a charity ball back in 2010, and he sent me lots of Doctor Who merchandise for the ball, and they all got auctioned off and we raised loads of money, and I also got a little signed autograph of him, so we're definitely keeping that. I need a bit of help with the television. It's so old, it's a really, really heavy one, and that is not in use anymore, so that's going to get thrown out. But here's the bookcase. It used to be very beautiful, as you can probably tell, but look, it's all broken, and this shelf doesn't have anything to sit on anymore, and it's just redundant. I might see if somebody could fix it up though, actually, and perhaps we could donate it, but we'll have a think about it. But yeah, that's to go. Good morning, everybody. It's Saturday morning and I am feeling much, much better. Thank goodness. I went to work yesterday, which was fine, and I didn't need to take any paracetamol yesterday, so I know my temperature has regulated. So we're at the end of this horrible tonsillitis, thank goodness. But I've not long been up, as you can tell. And I'm just going to show you what I do to prepare Nancy's breakfast, because at the moment she's actually getting up quite early. She went through a spell of sort of not getting up till about 11 o'clock in the morning. But the last few days, well, one morning I got up and I came down at 7 o'clock and she was sitting in her chair in her room reading the paper, because we have a paper delivered every morning for her. So that comes about 5 o'clock. And I was like, oh, hello, you're up early. She was just sitting there in a nightie, reading the paper. She just looked at me, she went, my kingdom for a cup of tea. Okay, I'm on it. But so she sometimes gets up at the moment this week, anything between 7 and 9 really. So no doubt she'll be up in a few minutes. So I was just going to show you what she has for breakfast actually. She has the same thing every day. and it always starts with a glass of orange juice. I'll get the orange juice. Now, she might be 95, but she only takes 1 tablet a day. She doesn't take any other tablets for anything else. She only takes this 1 tablet, which is Momentin, which is for Alzheimer's. And I've got one of these little day pill boxes, and I don't use the nighttime row because she doesn't have a nighttime tablet. I just fill a week's worth of tablets down here, and then I just leave that in front of her breakfast on the table so that she can work out what day she's on. And it just sort of triggers her to remember what day it is. And very occasionally she'll say to me, which day is it? But once we've started going through the week and there are gaps, she knows to look at the next one where the tablet's in. So it's just like a little, I play a little memory game with her. I don't make an issue of it. If she doesn't remember, I just go, oh, it's Saturday, here you are, here's your tablet. But I leave it closed for her so she can do it. And I put that on the table, and then she starts her day with her tablet with a drink of orange juice. And this is one of her favourites, actually, the Marks and Spencer's smooth orange juice. She used to love the one with juicy bits in, but it can upset her tummy a little bit. So I've started buying the smooth one, even though when we go to the supermarket, she always points to the juicy one. I want that one, I want that one. I go, okay, and then I get that one. But she loves it, and that goes down very well with her tablet. So she just has a little glass of orange juice, and then she's always been a cereal and toast person for breakfast. She's not into big breakfasts, but one of her favourite cereals at the moment is blueberry wheats, and you can get them anywhere from any supermarket. I always decant them into this. This just helps me keep an eye on what's left, and because it's right there in front of me in the cupboard, and the cupboard's constantly being opened, to grab a mug or grab my vitamins or whatever. As soon as I see it in the morning, I know we're due a bit more soon. If I leave it in the packet like any other cereal, I sort of wait till it's got to the bottom, and I'm like, okay, we need to go and buy some more. So this way, it just helps me keep track on making sure I don't run out. She sometimes has apricot wheats as well, but she prefers blueberry wheats. So doesn't have a very big bowl. She even has just about that. Blueberry wheats. And then she has a piece of toast with marmalade, but she loves butter, so she does have quite a lot of butter on her toast. I always leave my butter out in one of these, which has been a little bit tricky in the heat wave, I hasten to add. So we do have to pop it in the fridge actually at the moment, but most of the time my butter stays out in one of these. And again, so this shows how busy I am. I keep a track on how much butter we've got, because as soon as I open that in the morning, I'm like, right, and I tend to always keep a second block of butter in the fridge, so we never run out of butter. My goodness, Nancy would tell me if we run out of butter. But I leave that out just in case she did get up before me or Grace or someone else and she attempts to make a piece of toast herself. She can see the butter there and then. And she always has marmalade. Now at the moment, we've got 2 kinds of marmalade, and one is very, very special because this week, Grace, my daughter, has made a job lot of marmalade, and it's absolutely delicious. So we've got 2 in at the moment. Here's Grace's marmalade, and she's actually made 4 or 5 pots of these, and her, she's gifted one to her dad, and we've got some in the fridge, and it's very gorgeous, and it's very, very thick cut, which Nancy loves. Whenever we're at the supermarket, she always wants the thick cut marmalade. The only other one we've got at the moment, which is gorgeous, is this Marks and Spencer's mandarin marmalade, but that's only a medium cut. Not quite Nancy's standard. And so we had that, and then Grace went, I'll make some marmalade. Keep Granny going for ages, because we do get through it. So we've got plenty at the moment, and today I'm going to use Grace's marmalade for Nancy. So as soon as I hear her get up and about, I'll get this all sorted for her. Most importantly, with her breakfast, she has to have a cup of tea. She doesn't drink much coffee. In fact, most days she doesn't have any coffee. Occasionally, mid-morning, if she's got up early, she'll say to me about 11 o'clock, I'll have a cup of coffee to keep me going. But she's a tea drinker, always has been. So a good old English cup of breakfast tea.
made it cooler though.
Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning.
Are you going to have some toast and some of Grace's marmalade?
Yes, and we're going out shopping.
Oh, what a surprise. We're going out shopping. Enjoy your breakfast.
Thank you.
So here we are, having our moment on the bed. Feels like ages since I did my last moment on the bed, but here we are, having a bit of P&Q, as they say, a little bit of peace and quiet in our manic world. That's what we like, isn't it? So it has been a really odd week, really, and I wasn't expecting to drop down poorly, and it did throw me, but I am so much better now, obviously. You can see, you can hear, you can tell I am so much better, thank goodness, because it was horrible for a few days. And thank goodness even more so that it would appear that nobody else in the house has come down with it or has got it. I'm just hoping it stays that way for the next few days. If we can get 2 or 3 days out the way now, I'll be happy that nobody's going to get it. And goodness me, I certainly wouldn't want Nancy to get it. So yeah, not as much in this vlog as I was hoping to give you this week, and not enough of Nancy, clearly. She's not in this enough at the moment, is she? But I think I've touched on this before, where I have to be a little bit careful with Nancy because she is a little bit more frail, I would say, than she was. And she's also a little bit more unaware of what's going on sometimes than she was. It's all part of the process. It's all part of the Alzheimer's dementia, obviously. But I do have to be a little bit careful when I catch her on film. And sometimes I might have to say to her, oh, I might film you now, or I might film you today. If I try and catch her off guard, she won't say anything. She won't know what to say and things like that. And I don't want to sort of, make her feel uncomfortable or what have you. But I know so many of you love to see her. Excuse me, I'm still a little bit croaky. I know so many of you love to see her and love to know how she's getting on, and you do send her the most beautiful wishes and comments, and that's super. And as I've said before, I do read them all out to her, even if I don't get a chance to respond to you all personally or with a message in return. I do see them, I do read them to her, and she loves them. But she gets a little bit confused as to where these messages come from. How does this work? How do they know about me? And things like that. And what has been lovely is Adam, my son, has been FaceTiming us a lot from Australia, which is wonderful. So she can see him, speak to him, and it's like he's in the same room. And then she'll go, well, where is he? And when's he coming back? Is he coming back this week? Next week? Today? And it's, I don't know, really, fundamentally, it's just very sad, isn't it? It is really, really sad. But we keep her as jolly as possible. And it is a godsend. We have these new wonderful gadgets that enable us to FaceTime our loved ones wherever they are in the world. Absolutely incredible. So yes, a little bit of a strange week, but we're doing okay. And hopefully now that I'm recovering, I can sort of really get my head around, as I say, the decluttering process and having a good old sort out. But the other thing that's stopping me from doing it is the weather, because I am so blinking hot all the time. I don't know about you, but I don't like this stuffy weather. Do you know what I mean by stuffy? Really humid and heavy and horrible and hot, even though it's chucking it down with rain today outside and it's quite grey, but it's so hot. And I know I haven't got a temperature anymore, so I know it's just stuffy. And I really don't like it. And it really sort of puts you off doing anything, doesn't it? It makes you really lethargic and tired and think, oh, I just can't be bothered today. So I do have to be bothered quite soon and get a little bit more sorted out. I've just hired a skip that has arrived today, and that is on my driveway. So the next big thing to do actually is our garage. Again, it's one of those places that it's not going to interfere with the rest of the house while we sort that out, but it gets that job done. So I am feeling like I'm starting to get a plan together now for the decluttering and the house packing, moving process. And I'm also very excited, don't get me wrong. I'm really looking forward to the house move, and we have got so many plans and so many lovely ideas, and I really hope you continue to follow this journey with me over the next few weeks stroke months, because when we do move in, as beautiful as the new house is as it stands, we are going to be making some changes, and there are some big changes that are going on. So that's all going to be very exciting. But as I say, I don't have any dates yet, so I'm just keeping everything crossed. It is, I don't know, I can't even put a date on it really. I'm hoping within the next sort of 6 weeks. I've put it out in the ether now. Within the next 6 weeks, that would be good and ideal. And there's going to be a huge garden project to do as well. And obviously, if we move in sort of 6 weeks' time or thereabouts, we're coming to the end of the summer. So it means that we've been able to enjoy the beautiful garden here that Paul, aka the Invisible Chef, aka the Incredible Gardener, has transformed my garden since he has lived here. And it's been an absolute joy to sit in, and Nancy's enjoyed it so much that it's been lovely actually to have stayed here for the summer to enjoy that. And then when we move, it's going to be that kind of year, just about going into autumn, that we wouldn't be sitting in the garden anyway. And there's going to be quite a big garden project to do. So we're not going to get the most out of the new garden until next summer. But it is quite exciting now. We're starting to feel like the ideas are coming together, and we've got a list of things we are going to need to purchase when we first move in, and things we need to do. Grace is very excited about getting her new bedroom, and she's just run out of space here as well. So it's going to be ideal for everybody involved, absolutely everybody. Can't wait. Can't wait. But there's a lot to do before then, obviously. So my next few weeks' videos are going to be a lot of me sorting out a lot of stuff. And we'll hopefully get to do a bit of thrifting as well, because I will donate a lot to the charity shops. And when you're there dropping your stuff off, you've got to go and have a look, haven't you? You can't just drop it off and leave. You've got to go and have a look. Might be getting rid of something that's not suitable for this house and find something that'd be perfect for the next. Who knows? Who knows? So anyway, I'm not going to talk too much today because I'm still protecting my voice a little bit, but thank you for joining me. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so to the channel. We're edging ever closer to that 2,000 subscriber mark. And I think I have mentioned before, I'm sure I have, I'm going to do a little giveaway. There's going to be a little prize of some description for somebody somehow. Haven't thought that one through yet, but there will be a little giveaway when I hit the 2,000 subscribers mark. And I hope you have enjoyed this week's video, and until next Sunday, stay safe, stay in the boat, and keep doing all things good. Have a great week. See you next Sunday. Take care. Bye.